Actors everyone can't stand working with. Let's face it, Hollywood is filled with divas. Showbiz is littered with stars who simply can't stop from making life difficult for everyone on set. Sometimes, actors take things too far and have a one-off blow-up. We're looking at you, Terminator Salvation, Christian Bale. This happens. Shooting a movie or TV series ain't easy. When you're away from family and loved ones for long periods of time, constantly chasing that perfect shot while the studio is breathing down your neck, things understandably get tense. However, there are a great many performers who just seem to have an unbreakable knack for making the filming experience, an already laborious process, 100 times more taxing and awkward. From having a laundry list of absurdly weird and random demands to frequently starting trouble with their castmates, there are just too many actors in Hollywood who like making things impossible for everyone. So, here is a list of actors you likely wouldn't want to be on set with for months on end. The following article includes allegations of addiction, child abuse, and sexual assault. Steven Seagal. From stuntman to other actors, Steven Seagal made it an absolute habit to upset literally everyone throughout his career. His hosting of Saturday Night Live in 1991 infamously and perfectly encapsulated just how difficult and rigid of a performer he could be. He frequently talked down to the cast and writers, and a Hans and Franz skit had to be changed to revolve around how tough he was. The Marked for Death star also pitched an idea for a sketch that involved him playing a therapist who sexually assaults his patient. The experience led to Lorne Michaels, along with many fans, referring to Seagal as the worst SNL host of all time. Over the years, multiple actors have gone on record to describe how Seagal took his role as an action star way too seriously, taking extreme physical liberties with his co-stars and stuntmen. Steven Seagal hits the S out of people, Michael J. White, an accomplished martial artist, explained in a 2021 interview with Vlad TV. He's known for that. According to the Spawn star, Seagal's bullying antics drove those on set with him crazy to the point that a director and producer both blatantly asked White to hurt Seagal for real when filming a fight scene. White refused. As White puts it, the Under Siege actor was always strategic about who he got physical with on set. If Hollywood gossip is to be believed, maybe Seagal learned the hard way after being humiliated by a legendary martial artist. Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase's comedic fame has often been eclipsed by just how much of a pain he can be to work with. The actor's notorious relationship with Saturday Night Live, where he was one of the original castmates, was nothing short of a toxic roller coaster. From fighting with Bill Murray moments before going live to reportedly hurling homophobic comments at Terry Sweeney upon his 1985 return as host, Chase's contentious SNL tenure is practically a how-to manual on how to be a terrible co-worker. Later in his career, when he seemed to be going through something of a resurgence thanks to his incredible performance as Pierce Hawthorne in Community, the actor once again made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Even at the height of the show's popularity, Chase could not refrain from talking badly about the NBC sitcom. His heated relationship with the series, its creator Dan Harmon, and his castmates culminated in his dramatic exit in 2012. As Community geared up for its Peacock revival film, series star Joel McHale plainly admitted that fans should not expect a Pierce Hawthorne return, directly pointing to Chase's chaotic exit in 2012. "I don't think he's allowed to. I don't think it would happen." Obviously, his unceremonious departure in season 4 pretty much did that in, via the New York Post. Charlie Sheen. Once upon a time, Charlie Sheen was the sitcom king, earning record-breaking millions for his run on CBS 2.5 Men. However, things came crashing down in 2011, when the actor's personal troubles and animosity with series creator Chuck Lorre culminated in his abrupt departure. Following his shocking exit, by 2012 Sheen was already starring in another sitcom, FX's Anger Management. It didn't take long for trouble to start brewing again. Halfway into the second season, Sheen's co-star Selma Blair was let go from the show after the two reportedly quarreled over the former's work ethic, or lack thereof. Sheen allegedly dismissed Blair through an expletive-filled text and threatened to walk from the FX series if she was not let go. While Sheen has successfully managed to turn a new leaf, the actor has been sober since 2017, and mended his relationship with Laurie. That doesn't mean his previous co-stars are lining up to work with him again. In a February interview with The View, actor Jon Cryer explained that while he wished Sheen nothing but the best, restarting a working relationship was simply out of the question. The thing for me is, when 2.5 Men was happening, Charlie was the highest paid actor in television, probably ever. And yet, he blew it up, Cryer said, via Entertainment Tonight. So, you kind of have to think I love him. I wish him the best. He should live in good health for the rest of his life, but I don't want to get in business with him for any length of time. Lea Michele. From 2009 to 2015, Lea Michele earned her fame for portraying Rachel Berry in Glee, the show's resident good-natured and lovable protagonist. However, years after the show's conclusion, allegations arose that painted the performer in a not-so-good-natured light. In her 2016 memoir, the late Naya Rivera wrote about her experience working with Michele, describing how polar opposite they were and how by the show's end the two were no longer on speaking terms. If I'd complained about anyone or anything, she'd assumed I was buying about her. Soon, she started to ignore me, and eventually it got to the point where she didn't say a word to me for all of season 6, via the Daily Beast. In June 2020, Samantha Marie Ware, who joined Glee for its 6th and final season, posted in a since-deleted post on then Twitter, now called X, tweet that Michele tormented her on set. The accusation was an apparent reply to Michele's tweeting support for the Black Lives Matter movement. LMAO, remember when you made my first television gig a living hell? 'Cause I'll never forget. I believe you told everyone that if you had the opportunity you would in my wig. Amongst other traumatic microaggressions that made me question a career in Hollywood. Via CBS. An avalanche of allegations soon followed, with each spotlighting accounts of Michele treating some of her fellow Glee co-stars, along with the show's background extras, horribly. Mike Myers. Over the years, Mike Myers hasn't developed the most stellar reputation when it comes to his behavior on set. According to Wayne's World director Penelope Spheris, the actor was not the easiest to deal with. He was emotionally needy and got more difficult as the shoot went along, per Entertainment Weekly. In a 2016 AV Club interview, via Vulture, actor Amy Hill recalled how strange and reclusive Myers was while filming 2003's The Cat in the Hat. According to Hill, the Austin Powers star was able to exercise firm creative control over filming, frequently taking the reins from director Bo Welch, and refrained from interacting with the rest of the cast, going so far as to cover his trailer with tenting. Allegedly, Myers even had his own personal chocolate getter. There was a guy who held his chocolates in a little Tupperware. Whenever he needed chocolate, he'd come running over and give him a chocolate, Hill explained. In early 2023, Myers' name was once again brought to the forefront for all the wrong reasons. Canadian radio host Jay Brody claimed to have previously worked on the set of 2008's The Love Guru as security and that it was the movie's main star that got him fired. According to Brody, he was let go after making eye contact with Myers, an apparent hard rule that loomed over the set. Jared Leto. Yeah, you probably guessed Jared Leto, who has his own bizarre cult, was going to appear on this list sooner or later. When fans think of method actors who go way too overboard, a picture of Leto's face probably floats around in their minds. The most glaring examples of Leto's eccentric behavior on set occurred when he stepped up to play the Joker in 2016's Suicide Squad. The actor's take on the clown prince of crime allegedly involved him sending a rat to Margot Robbie and a dead pig to Viola Davis. Years later, when Leto jumped into the superhero realm once more with Morbius, the actor made it a habit during filming to limp his way toward restrooms while on crutches, in an apparent effort to mirror and embrace his titular character's medical condition. This burdened production to the point where a compromise had to be made. Someone, probably a horribly underpaid production assistant, had to eventually start pushing Leto to the bathroom in a wheelchair. Interestingly, it seems Leto is very particular, almost strategic, about who he goes full method actor with. Denzel Washington plainly admitted that Leto didn't pull anything strange with him. He didn't do any of that with me, the Training Day star explained prior to the film's release, per USA Today. Nah. He'd have been paid a visit. That wouldn't happen. Thomas Gibson. Things weren't always smooth sailing with the CBS Police procedural Criminal Minds. The show debuted in 2005 and ran until 2020, before coming back 2 years later on Paramount Plus, and had an incredibly demanding shooting schedule. However, whenever things got difficult on set, there appeared to often be one recurring name at the center of things, Thomas Gibson, who played Unit Chief Aaron Hotchner from 2005 to 2016. Gibson was fired from the series after he reportedly kicked producer Virgil Williams in the shin. This was the last straw, as it wasn't the first time the actor was involved in a physical altercation on set. In 2010, it was reported that Gibson shoved assistant director Ian Wolfe. Aside from these two instances, the actor's presence on set burdened the show in other ways. Filming reportedly had to allocate time for Gibson to travel home to San Antonio, and in 2013, after receiving a DUI and getting his license revoked, it suddenly became the responsibility of staffers to drive him to and from set. Patrick Dempsey. Few shows have garnered as much gossip and controversy as ABC's Grey's Anatomy. The show debuted in early 2005, and at its peak there seemed to always be some type of drama unfolding behind the scenes. Ellen Pompeo, who played Dr. Meredith Grey, is not afraid to admit as much. The first 10 years we had serious culture issues, very bad behavior, really toxic work environment, Pompeo explained in 2019 to Variety. Patrick Dempsey, who played Dr. Derek McDreamy Shepherd for 11 seasons before being killed off, often has his name brought up next to the word diva whenever Grey's Anatomy drama is brought up. According to Lynette Rice's book How to Save a Life, The Inside Story of Grey's Anatomy, via The Hollywood Reporter, James D. Perriott, a former executive producer on the show, described Dempsey as an absolute terror on set, saying, "He sort of was terrorizing the set. Some cast members had all sorts of PTSD with him. He had this hold on the set where he knew he could stop production and scare people." Dempsey reportedly clashed frequently with Pompeo and series creator Shonda Rhimes, with his actions and attitude on set often dumbfounding the cast and crew, as McDreamy was the highest paid actor on the show during his tenure, a move that inevitably created friction with the show's main star.